little girls that really want you to come home, okay? So how about we work together as a team and make that happen.
On this week's Bondi Vet Top 5.
It's okay.
They've done extremely well to get Bunny here as quickly as they did.
This is an early scare that I don't need. Cookie's breathing seems a little bit irregular.
Oh my goodness. I have never seen a blood glucose this high in a rabbit before.
My priority really has to be to stabilise her first, and then we'll go looking for injuries next.
Number 5.
Our very first consult with Jay Arson is going to be one of your favourite animals. Dog.
Not a dog.
Cat, not a cat. It's a rabbit. A rabbit. Yep.
In New South Wales, Alison and Audrey are answering an SOS about a tiny patient who's had a tough start to life.
And this one's a really special case. It's really sad. It's going to pull at your heartstrings, but it's a rescue bunny and it's come from the rabbit sanctuary.
And she's a good boy.
Emily is a volunteer with the organisation The Rabbit Sanctuary, which has been rescuing and rehoming rabbits for 14 years.
And she's good.
The Rabbit Sanctuary is all run by volunteers and we do it because we love it. At the end of the day, it's about rescuing these rabbits and giving them the best lives possible.
Kissy kissy.
Emily is hoping the twins will be able to treat 1-year-old Chimera after she noticed some nasty abscesses on the young bunny.
Chimera was surrendered by a girl who did a mass rescue from a hoarder situation, and there was 6 rabbits that had abscesses. See you, friend.
Good boy.
They were all treated with antibiotics, but Chimera in particular was the worst. The abscesses kept returning. So I called Alison and Audrey today because they're growing and getting bigger and we're really quite concerned.
Hi, Emily. Hi, Chimera. So tell us a little bit about Chimera's rescue and where he's come from.
So Chimera was rescued in a hoarder situation and the person rescued 22 rabbits.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's quite underweight as well. And she was at the point she was ready to euthanize him, but thankfully she did contact us.
So Emily tells us about Chimera's story and it's heartbreaking. He's malnourished. He probably has some liver or kidney compromise because he's had a terrible diet. And on top of that, he's got this weird mass or abscess that goes around his leg. He must be in a lot of pain. Yeah. Well, it looks like he's come to the right place and you've already started everything you can to get him back to health. But obviously, what's going on with his weight is that abscess causing him to be really unwell. And we know with rabbit abscesses, they get out of hand and they can become, they can seed infection into the blood and make them really unwell. Yeah. Poor Buddy.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's time to get a close look at the abscesses that antibiotics have failed to treat.
Here we can feel quite a large lump sort of extending around here, and there's obviously a wound there where the pus is coming through.
So abscesses are quite common in rabbits. We do see them quite a bit and they're very, very tricky to treat.
And I think rabbits, they can get it from a whole number of reasons. It could be a bite, it could be a foreign body like a grass seed that's tracked through, it could be a bit of bacteria just entered through the skin. And then what happens is that these abscesses become really thickened. They've got these capsules that are a couple of mil thick, so no antibiotic or anything can penetrate it to cure it. And that's why rabbit abscesses are a huge problem.
Okay, oh, there it is.
That's quite massive.
And if you feel it, it's actually a really weird shape. It feels kind of lobulated. It's long on one side, it gets a bit bigger, and then it might even be connected to that one at the back. It's really weird, this abscess thing that's going on with Chimera. There's definitely one on the back thigh and there's one on the inside of the thigh, and then we feel a little bit more and it almost feels like they're connected through some sort of stringy abscess
like
connection.
A chain of pearls, but a chain of abscesses.
We call it a chain of abscess, and it's strange because I've never seen an abscess like that. I've seen round abscesses, oval abscesses, but something like this that goes from the back of the leg to the front of the leg is
very strange.
Yeah, very, very weird.
And they're actually discharging. The abscesses have actually burst to some extent and we can actually see pus coming out. So very, very sore.
It's lying actually on top of a few very critical structures. So if we were to go in and remove that, we've got to be really careful because there's some major vessels going just underneath it. And if we nick that, we're in a lot of trouble.
Infections from the mass of abscesses is rapidly spreading throughout little Chimera's body, and his condition is deteriorating. But emergency surgery is going to be risky.
So he's underweight, he could have some underlying liver and kidney issues, poor diet, and to put him under general anaesthetic, it's going to be a risk. It's also going to be a tricky surgery, so not the quickest surgery. So we've got to weigh up whether it's worth putting this boy under general anaesthetic to get it out. It comes to the end of the consult, and this is the difficult part because we've been processing all this information and it's not good news. He hasn't responded to any antibiotics. He's not a well bunny. He looks like he's going downhill, so we need to do something, and that decision is going to be hard. Emily has to make a decision for us to put him under general anaesthetic to get this abscess out, and there is a strong likelihood he could die. Alrighty, buddy. So I think, Emily, we need to have a decision on this. I know it's a hard decision. Alrighty, buddy. So I think, Emily, we need to have a decision on this. I know it's a hard decision.
In New South Wales, sick rabbit Chimera needs urgent surgery on a mass of nasty infected abscesses.
There is a strong likelihood he could die. He's so malnourished, he's so unwell, it's a huge, huge risk.
Twins Alison and Audrey have explained to rescuer Emily the anaesthetic risk is extremely high.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you said, you know, we don't do it and his quality of life is just going to keep going downhill. Yeah. We really need him to get better, and it's a risk we have to take. We've tried medical options, it just keeps coming back, and really it's the only option.
So it's going to be a big day for you, buddy. Off to hospital?
I'm definitely anxious. I have lost a bunny before under anaesthetic, so I guess I'm a little bit more anxious than others. So I do a lot of pacing.
Okay, Emily, we'll be in touch, don't worry.
Thank you.
All right, see you later. All right, here's Chimera. A lot of fight there. There we go. Keep you nice and warm, buddy.
I can pop him on his side, that'd be easier.
Yep, that would be easier.
Just watch his back.
Just turn him down, you turn over.
Alison and Audrey face a massive challenge. They must try to safely remove the long string of abscesses without nicking vital blood vessels.
Okay, so definitely now that he's shaved, that one is a lot bigger than we thought. And then there's this crazy kind of line of pus. And then it comes around this inside and then joins to this one. Weird. The abscess feels quite irregular, it's almost like a chain. But I want to know if they connect, and I also want to know if it's attached to any blood vessels or anything like that. Before we get started, I whip out my mobile ultrasound machine because I'm really interested to see how deep this abscess goes. Is it stuck to the femoral artery and vein? All of these things will prepare us for a better surgery. Ooh, there it is.
Oh gosh, look at how thick that capsule is.
Yeah, it's connected.
Is it?
Yep. So we get a couple of images and we find out that as well as being one that wraps around the leg, this abscess is actually attached to some major blood vessels, the femoral artery, the femoral vein.
And that means even the smallest accidental nick could result in fatal bleeding.
And we know we have our work cut out for us. Yeah, it's connected.
Is it?
Yep.
In New South Wales, Audrey and Alison face a massive challenge, with an ultrasound confirming that rabbit Chimera's nasty abscesses are connected to major blood vessels.
If we nick any of those vital blood vessels, that would be really bad news. He could die, and so we really want to avoid that at all costs.
Time's of the essence, and this guy cannot have a long anaesthetic. Oh, he's up again.
But before surgery can get underway, the team is battling to stabilise Chimera.
Rabbit anaesthetic is always tricky. They go a little bit light, they go a little bit deep, and in Chimera's case, I'm keeping him low on all the anaesthetic drugs because he potentially has some liver and kidney issues. So we do have to tweak the anaesthetic every time he gets a little bit light and starts moving. We've got to turn the gas up, and then sometimes he goes too deep and then we've got to turn it down.
You go scrub, just in case anaesthetic goes boo, and then I'll scrub last, but you go scrub first.
Okay.
He's on 2.5, and his oxygen flow rate just slightly higher odds, but he's stable.
He's moving, he's moving. He may not just like that. Yep, he's feeling everything.
Chimera is still unstable and will feel pain if he's not fully anaesthetised.
Just gave him a little bit more injectable anaesthetic just to get him a little bit deeper.
All right, try and do this without bursting it.
He's not feeling that, so that's good.
So part of this abscess has already ruptured, but I actually don't want it to burst fully because if it stays full, I can actually find the capsule and take it out like a ball. Oh, we're not happy, Alison.
Huh?
We're not happy.
All right, let me scrub. Oh, so we're scrubbing really quickly because he's being really unstable under anaesthetic. So I just want to make sure that we're in and out as fast as we can. So 2 surgeons might be faster than 1.
Don't you dare burst on me. Oh my God. Disgusting, ropey.
And if we burst it, the problem is we're spreading the infection. So we really want to keep this abscess in its capsule.
There we go. Hold the abscess. Look at this abscess.
Look at it.
It's like a worm.
Look. It looks like an alien. It goes into little crevices. It's strung all together. I've never seen anything like it. It's like a caterpillar. And the more you pull, the more is coming out. Wow, right?
Wow.
Just wow.
This is, look, it's coming down to join to the other one. We were right.
It is going around, look.
All right, I think we're good. We're gonna flip it.
Audrey and Alison must now try to safely unravel the bizarre abscess where it's wrapped around Chimera's leg.
Don't hit the artery, don't hit the vein.
I know, she really stressed me out. You know, like my levels are like already a bit high right now. So this string of abscess, Audrey's put her scissors through, is actually connected to the other side. So we were right, it's sort of wrapped around the stifle. That's pretty cool, huh?
Pass. All right, I got it.
Finally.
Ready? And
woohoo! Wow. Oh my God, look, it's like
that's
got
our string of abscess. It went around the leg like that.
Abscesses are disgusting, but it's kind of that intriguing disgusting.
And it's actually, if you get it and you drain it or you remove it, it's like instant gratification. You know you've done a good job. You know you've got that infection out. I think there's nothing more rewarding than curing an abscess or getting it out. I really love abscess surgery.
That was really
super cool. But as much as we want to enjoy this moment, we got to suture her up.
Absolutely.
With the massive abscess out, the girls must now stitch up the wound and wake up Chimera as quickly as possible.
Hello.
Hi, cutie.
Such a cutie.
He's so cute.
While Chimera slowly recovers, the twins are fascinated to explore the extraordinary alien growth they removed from his body.
This thing open?
Yes, I'm excited.
All right. So it's the end of surgery, and we have the sick desire to cut open.
It's not a sick desire. It's actually part of the investigation process.
A true part of this investigation. We need to open it up and find out what's in there and is it pus.
Okay, wait. Where is the most juiciest? Ooh, look at that multilobulated. And take a sample for culture and sensitivity, because we know he's been on all these different antibiotics, but they may not be the right antibiotics for the type of infection. So getting right into that pus sample and getting a little sample, sending it off, is what we need to do. So we've got to cut this thing open.
Much to our delight.
Much to our delight. And as vets, this is the fun part. Oh God, that's tough.
Oh God, that's why the antibiotics don't go through that.
Yeah, like, no wonder.
Ooh, pop goes the weasel.
Oh, Iona, I think you're right. It's custody. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Okay, slice the whole thing. I want to see the whole thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. This is amazing. I can't contain my excitement right now.
As vets, we love gory, pussy.
It's intriguing because you see the same thing a lot of the time. So when you see an abscess, that's pretty cool. And when you see a string of abscess, that's even cooler. In we go.
And we'll
off to the lab. As well as being, scientific and it's all part of our investigation, just to cut that thing open and find out what's inside, that's some sick pleasure there.
Our job is never dull.
Viscosity.
By now, Chimera is fully awake and ready to be moved to a cosy bed so he can continue to recover.
Off to bed, my little one.
hopefully when he goes home and he's in his own environment, he's going to start chewing some grass, and so it couldn't go any better. It was just a perfect recovery.
Number 4.
Beach on a 40-degree day.
Come straight through.
But the heat wave has claimed an unlikely victim. Brian and Sandra's beloved family pet, Bunny.
I went out the back and she was on the veranda, just very laboured breathing, and I think she's overheated. She was very hot.
Yeah.
I've cooled her down, I put her in the pool, and that sort of helped a bit. I sprayed some water on her.
Okay.
I'm just going to grab a towel and we're going to put it here and we're going to put it on oxygen straight away. A lot of animals do it tough with the heat, but rabbits find it especially hard simply because they can't pant like dogs do, they can't sweat like we do. The only way they can cool themselves down is through breathing a little bit more quickly and also trying to lose a bit of heat through their big ears. That's all they have, and often it's not enough.
She wasn't breathing on the way up. I was squeezing her chest and that, and I thought she was gone.
All right, so we're actually going to put this directly into an abdominal cavity here. Right. It's just a good way to get the fluids into it quickly. They've done extremely well to get Bunny here as quickly as they did. I just hope they've got her here on time.
Come on, little Bunny.
6-year-old Bunny is struggling to survive a severe case of heat stroke.
Just got some cold water here. I'm just going to spray these ears. You can see there's blood vessels in the ears running down there. So that's what we're trying to target here, because there's a really good blood supply to those ears. And if we can just cool the blood going through those ears, then you actually cool down all of Bunny.
The pet rabbit is a cherished member of Brian and Sandra's family.
She's a real character, you know.
She is.
A lot of people think, a rabbit, what do you want a rabbit for, you know, have a dog or something, but when you realise they've all got a different personality, and she's a real little character, this one.
I've got no doubt how much Bunny means to Brian and Sandra. I mean, you look at Brian, I see a lot of people crying in this job, but when a grown man like Brian starts tearing up, he can't even bear the thought of not having her around.
Hang in there, Bun.
She's got a really rapid heart rate, but when I touch her, that's the most dramatic thing. She's scaldingly hot. Still getting quite laboured breathing too. Bunny right now isn't good. You can see that she's breathing extremely rapidly, and that's her desperate attempt to try to get cool air in and cool herself down from the inside. So I'll just provide a bit of a pick-me-up for her.
Slowly, Bunny seems to be fighting back.
Yeah, she's looking better.
It's been a fair old battle, but now Bunny's temperature is coming down to a healthy range. For me though, the sign that I love seeing is when her nose starts twitching again. That tells me she's coming back. This has been a crazy 20, 30 minutes, but it's Bunny's to a T. When something happens with them, it happens quickly and it's over quickly.
When I rub this eye, she pulls the ear forward, and when I do this one, usually it comes right up forward, but so that's a bit of a response that she likes that.
That's the measure of her health, isn't it? How much the ear comes forward. A little gauge.
That's it.
Yeah? Well, I can't let her go home looking like that, so I'll get her looking good.
Thank you.
That's Bunny's really sprung back to life beautifully, so she should be fine. She's able to go home with the family, have a cool drink, she'll be happy.
Thank you.
Thank you, no worries at all.
See you later.
My pleasure.
Thanks. Chris has done a great job, and
Really fantastic.
when she all fluffs up, she looks like a different bunny. She's beautiful.
She's very pretty.
Yeah.
This week's number 3.
So once I finally get hold of Cookie and I have a look at him, clearly he's a very happy rabbit. But Tom informs me that he's been quite the naughty boy.
I think he may need to be castrated.
Anaesthetics in rabbits can be quite fraught because they're quite nervous, stressful animals, and they're also quite delicate as well. Can you see breath there? His heart's still going.
Yeah, heart's still going.
I'm just on my way to Mudshoot Farm, which is a really inspiring place where Londoners can go and visit farm animals, but in the city. Now, Farmer Tom has given me a call because there's a rather mischievous new recruit, so he's asked me to come up and check him out to make sure that he's A-OK. Hello, sir.
How you doing?
How's it going, Tom? Good to see you, mate.
Tom has hundreds of animals in his care, but it's a newly arrived orphan rabbit that's the reason for Tom's call to Scott.
We thought when the rabbit was found, I mean, he was dumped in a box just on one of the entrances to the farm, and I thought when it became apparent that he would need a little bit of surgery, that Scott would be the man to phone. We'll go and see him, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Right, so here he is.
Let's have a look at him. So what's the name of my patient today, Tom?
He's been christened Cookie.
Cookie, okay.
Yep.
All right.
See if we can get him.
Yeah. This wrangling rabbits thing can actually prove quite difficult.
Yeah, he's going to give us the runaround, that's for sure.
Where are you, mate? In classic rabbit style, they are very difficult to catch. I don't think they are that impressed by a vet visit, and they're trying their best to escape my clutches.
There he is.
Come on. Oh, yeah, got him. Okay, come here, mate. You're quick, but you're not quick enough. How's it going? Hello there, you okay?
He seems bright and healthy, and as you see, he's moving.
He's moving very well. Definitely quite strong and healthy. Nice teeth as well. Boy. A little feel of your tummy. Okay, well, I mean, generally, physically, he's a very fine specimen. So, have you noticed any concerning issues or physical traits you're bothered about?
There is one problem that sort of got a little bit bigger.
Right.
Really. I think he may need to be castrated.
Right.
Yeah.
What have you been up to, sir? So once I finally get hold of Cookie and I have a look at him, clearly he's a very happy rabbit. But Tom informs me that he has been quite the naughty boy.
They're just down in here.
Oh my goodness, they are so cute, aren't they? Beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think it's fair to say that they are Cookie's kids because
they are.
3 of them look very clearly like him, don't they?
Yep.
And how many babies are we looking at here?
There's actually 9 in there.
Wow.
What happened was a bit of an accident. Basically, as someone was going in to feed the girls, they had let the boy out first and he quickly saw his chance. I think he was in there for only 30 seconds, a couple of minutes, something like that. So it doesn't take much time. I think if you would have blinked, you would have missed it, but there you go.
Oh, dear. We definitely don't need another 30 seconds, do we?
No, we don't need a repeat performance.
No.
So now Tom wants Scott to take Cookie back to the Richmond practice for castration surgery.
Well, let us know how you get on.
Well, come on then, let's go. Hey, Nate.
Oh, hi, Scott. What have you got for us today, then?
Well, I've got a very handsome Lothario, and it isn't me, it's him.
At the Richmond clinic, Scott has arrived back from Mudchute Farm with Cookie for the rabbit's castration surgery.
He's managed to father some babies at Mudchute Farm that they didn't quite expect were going to be running around, and now we just need to put paid to his stud behaviour.
Assisting Scott is vet nurse Nathan.
I think this is the one all the fathers warn their girls about, isn't it?
This rabbit?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. He wouldn't get past the front door of my place. Seriously. That's it. Okay. Well, let's get to work. Sorry, buddy. Oh, ouchie. I know. Ouchie, ouchie. Good boy.
Yeah, all okay.
Anesthetics in rabbits can be quite fraught because they're quite nervous, stressful animals, and they're also quite delicate as well. Is it moving the bag? It's just this colour's not great.
Just moments into the procedure, Scott is concerned about Cookie's breathing.
Can you just be quiet for a second?
That's a breath.
There you go, but that's moving, so...
Yeah, he's breathing.
Yeah, actually his colour's improving now. It just pushed it back a little bit further. Okay. This is an early scare that I don't need. Cookie's breathing seems a little bit irregular. If you want to take him through and then I'll get scrubbed up. But now, hopefully, it's stabilised. Okay?
So just looking at his colour. It's gone a bit perfect.
But seconds later, Cookie is in trouble again.
Running into the surgery room, I can see that Cookie is blue and he is simply not breathing. This colour's awful. Extend his neck. We set to work straight away, trying to stimulate him to start breathing again. Can you see breath there? His heart's still going.
Yeah, heart's still going.
Breath?
No. Yeah, heart rate's come up.
Seeing that Cookie isn't breathing and that he's going blue, it's very, very nerve-wracking. These are very stressful and nervous animals, and they are prone to anaesthetic reactions, basically where the drugs that we use aren't well received by the patient's system, and that seems to be the case here with Cookie. His heart's strong.
Yeah, you can see the blood pumping through. It's kind of like...
It's good.
His colour's better.
Yeah, but I think we should get the antecedent into him anyway. I just don't like this. Nathan and I are battling really hard to try and get Cookie to breathe again, and the worry is starting to rise in me. So I decide that we're going to pull out of the anaesthetic altogether. So we give him the reversal agent, which should mop up all the drugs that we knocked him out with in the first place. So you just need to keep stimulating. Come on. Can't feel anything, no. It's a real battle to keep Cookie alive. We are breathing for him. We are trying to stimulate him to start breathing on his own, at the same time listening very intently to his heart, which is beginning to slow. Come on, mate.
Cookie has now been unresponsive for 6 minutes, despite Scott's use of numerous medications to try to stimulate the rabbit's system.
He's gone. Despite our best efforts, Cookie is simply not responding, and sadly, his heart stops.
After battling to save the little rabbit, Scott and Nathan are devastated.
So our patient's passed away, which is heartbreaking. Yeah, we fought valiantly as much as and as hard as we could, but he just seemed to react very badly to the drugs, and you never know that until you give a drug, and then you fight to counter the side effects. And we're incredibly shocked and upset that this has happened on our watch. We're trained to deal with these situations, but unfortunately, this one we didn't win, and Nathan and I are heartbroken. So how are the babies getting on?
They're doing really well. Grabbing like there's no tomorrow, so yeah, have a look and see what you reckon.
6 weeks later, Scott is back at Mudchute Farm. Tom wants him to check up on some of Cookie's offspring.
We've got 3 that we've decided to keep.
Oh, great.
So they're going to be staying on the farm, so those are the ones that we'll have a look at now.
Nice.
Right, here they are.
Oh my goodness. They are gorgeous.
Yeah, we'll go in and have a closer look.
Oh, look at that. That one's literally a mirror image of its dad.
It certainly is.
Oh my goodness, like a mini Cookie. And just as feisty.
That's it, exactly.
Oh, hello, beautiful. Oh my goodness, these rabbits are so cute. They are absolutely beautiful. And one of them is the absolute picture of Cookie. Oh, wow. What an amazing legacy.
I know,
Cookie.
don't they? They're lovely.
Do we know if they're boys or girls yet?
I haven't had a look yet, because I think they're still a little bit too young, but maybe you can have a look and see.
Should I have another look? So I'm pretty sure that this guy is following after his dad's footsteps. Hey, chip off the old block. All right, sweetheart. So that one's a female.
Yep.
And then last but not least, let's have a look at you. I think this one's also a girl.
The examination of the babies went really well, and we've found out we've got 1 boy and 2 girls. The 3 babies will stay here for the rest of their natural lives, so they'll be in a happy, functioning social group, providing happiness to many, many children and adults that come and visit the farm.
Have you thought of names yet?
Well, because obviously Dad was called Cookie, we were thinking about biscuits.
Biscuit-inspired names.
That's it, yes.
Okay. Well, one biscuit that I desperately miss from home is this chocolate extravaganza, which is a Tim Tam. So I wonder if maybe, do you want to be Tim Tam? They're really nice, really nice. And then what about you? What's your favourite biscuit?
Well, I like chocolate digestives.
Okay, so maybe we should go with the brown one on that one.
Yep.
All right, and then I think the English biscuit that I think is amazing is a hobnob. Everyone loves a hobnob, come on.
So we can call this little one here.
There we go. It's bittersweet visiting Mudsheet Farm today. On one hand, I'm heartbroken at not returning with Cookie, but happy to check on his lasting legacy, his babies. As a vet, we're trained to accept that sometimes complications happen, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt.
Number 2.
Punch. It's all right, buddy.
At Dr. Kate Adams' clinic in Bondi, Sophie has arrived with her much-loved pet rabbit.
You're all right, buddy.
So today I brought in Poncho, 3-year-old mini lob. My partner bought him for me for my birthday. It was very surprising when he rocked up with a rabbit, and I thought, what do I do with this? I've never had one before. They're actually super cuddly.
But Poncho isn't his usual self.
He hasn't been eating, so I'm a little bit concerned today.
You're all right, buddy.
Hey, Soph.
Hey, how you doing?
Come on through. Poncho is so cute. I can so see the appeal of having a pet rabbit. They're absolutely gorgeous pets. The Ponch Man.
Yep.
What's wrong with him?
He hasn't been eating for about a day and a half.
Okay. Hey, little buddy. A rabbit that's not eating is a really serious situation. Rabbits can go into gut stasis where the gut doesn't move very well, and they can die from that. He means quite a lot to you.
Oh, yeah.
He's pretty attached.
Yeah, I'm very attached to him too. I don't know what we'd do without him.
So we need to obviously get him eating again as a priority. I know, sweetheart. But we do need to have a look for any underlying causes. You worry your mum, don't you?
Can't see any ulcers there.
Eyes are looking beautiful. He hasn't had any ocular discharge. Have you tried to massage his tummy at all?
No, not yet.
I know, Bubsy. It's okay. Poncho's a really sweet patient. He is so amenable to being examined. He lets me do anything that I need to do. But the fact that Poncho is so placid today is actually quite concerning. It could be actually that he feels really rubbish. I can feel in his tummy things are not good. It's hard at the top of the tummy there. Whatever it is that's going on is very concerning for me. 36.7. His temperature's a bit low, Soph.
Okay.
I can see that Sophie is really, really worried.
You're okay.
Let's get him some pain relief.
Yep.
Whether or not we're dealing with gut stasis or an obstruction here, the reality is this guy would be feeling pretty darn sick right now. He needs to start eating and he needs to start pooing. What I'd like to do with him as a start is we're going to try and give him some things to actually get the gut moving.
Yeah.
The second part of this is that I think it's probably worthwhile taking some x-rays.
I'm a little bit concerned, but hopefully it'll all get sorted and he'll start eating again.
Okay, little bud, you're going to stay with me. I'm a very sick rabbit. Oh, he's so sweet.
Thank you. Yes.
Poor Sophie, I can see that she's trying to be really brave.
Alright, matey, be good.
You'll see him soon.
Yep.
I'm trying to be brave too, but I'm not hopeful. Okay, little mate. Hey, little mate. Let's try and get you better. You're a sweet little rabbit. Sweet big rabbit.
At the Bondi clinic, Kate needs to urgently try to find out why Poncho is so sick.
You okay? No, buddy.
The little rabbit's bowel movements have stopped and he's not eating.
This guy would be feeling pretty darn sick right now. Whatever is going on here would be quite painful and the poor little guy needs some pain relief. There you go, sweetheart. Now, this has a little bit of antacids. No, buddy. Down the hatch. Swallow. Swallow. There we go.
With vet nurse Katie assisting, Kate is now going to do a blood test in the hope it will give some clues as to why Poncho's health is deteriorating.
I'm just going to give you a little bit of a haircut, Poncho. A little bit of a haircut. This is one of the really tough parts of the job. Rabbit veins are so little, it is so difficult to get a blood sample. Just going to have to find exactly where that is. Okay, there's a good vein right there. I don't know why this is not going in. Hang on, wait, hold.
This is the tricky part.
Sorry, though, mate. Gosh, that's little. Okay, ready? Let's give it a crack. Ooh, that's bad. We've got some serious issues. Oh my goodness. I have never seen a blood glucose this high in a rabbit before. It is off the chart. Poncho, you're not well, mate, are you? You're not a well little rabbit. Okay, sweetheart. I know.
A high glucose level could be a sign of an abdominal obstruction. And for little Poncho, that could be fatal. The next step is an X-ray.
That's going to allow us to have a look at the intestines, the stomach, see how much gas is in there, and we're also going to be able to look for an obstruction there. I'm very, very worried about this little guy. It's super critical for him. Despite the rabbit's size, they have a really complex digestive system. It means heaps of things can go wrong. That's good. I really don't want to put him under the stress of a general anaesthetic, so I'm going to try and take these x-rays conscious, right? Without a moving gut, anaesthetics and sedations, it's not ideal. X-ray. Okay, mate. Oh my goodness. This is not very good at all. So what I can actually see here is I can see a really large stomach. It's got gas in it, a lot of gas. You can see some gas in the small intestine here. But fundamentally what we can see here is pretty much nothing. There is absolutely no food. No wonder Poncho feels so bad. The top half of his stomach is completely crammed with food. There is a massive obstruction there. Nothing can get through. This is really, really bad news for Poncho. We have to do something about this pretty quickly. My heart is just sinking. Sophie is on her way back in with her partner. I have nothing good to tell them at this point.
Hey, Bob. Hey, look at you.
So we've got two options, right? So the first option being that we manage him medically.
Yeah.
Right? And we try and actually get whatever's stuck there, and it's probably like food impacted, right? Try and get it to move.
Yeah.
The second way that we do this is that we go surgical. We open him up and we actually try and get what's there to actually move down.
Yep.
Sophie and Dusty are devastated, just devastated. We're caught in the middle of a rock and a hard place with this one. If we do medical treatment, it may or may not work. Surgical treatment, Poncho's not a great anaesthetic candidate. It's hard to know which way to go on this one.
Do you think we should medically give him a few hours? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, let's give it a crack. With the understanding that he might die in the meantime.
Come on, you can do it, buddy. You can do it. You know you can.
Poncho's medical management will start with a drip overnight to help his little body rehydrate. But first, for Sophie and her partner Dusty, it's time for a heartbreaking goodbye.
Fight, 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 okay?
I'm the eternal optimist. I always think that I'll go to the very end to try and save a patient. I really hope that Poncho gets through this. He's a tough little battler, and if I can just get him through the next 24 hours, he's got a fighting chance. Come on, little guy. Your mum and dad are very worried about you.
In Bondi, Kate is desperately trying to save Poncho.
Hello there.
The little rabbit has a massive obstruction in his intestine. He's stopped eating and he's close to death.
We need to rehydrate Poncho. He's really in shock and he's really dehydrated. So much fur. Want it further on the edge, you reckon? So the best thing I can do now is put in a drip. Okay, come on, little mate. Let's just get this IV in. There we go, okay. What I'm really hoping the fluids will do is potentially move that obstruction. So the more fluid that we can actually give him, especially IV, it just basically means that the intestines are going to be a little bit more hydrated, and it's going to mean that they're going to be able to function a little bit better. Let's do this. Let's put this under here like this. You got that?
Got it, yeah.
Okay, cool. We've done everything we possibly can for Poncho medically. Now it's just a matter of playing the waiting game. Hopefully we can get you through this, mate. Let's put you back in your little bed. Get you back on your heat mat. I'm crossing all of my fingers and toes that this drip is going to get these intestines moving. You right? Do you want me to wrap you up? There you go. Every hour, I think that Poncho potentially is not going to survive. So if he can survive until the morning, I'm going to be really one happy vet. Poncho! Look at you! Hello! I'm so glad to see you.
Next morning at Kate's Bondi clinic, Poncho the rabbit has made a remarkable recovery.
You're a little fighter, aren't you? A little fighter. I am absolutely speechless. I didn't know that I would find an alive rabbit this morning, and he's up. He looks well. It's just miracles can happen. Do you think we might be able to get you out and have a look at you? Your mum is on her way in and she's going to be very, very happy to see you.
12 hours ago, Poncho was suffering from a major intestinal obstruction, and Kate did not expect him to live.
You're looking so much brighter. I've given the P-Man a lot of fluid overnight. It has worked absolute wonders because he looks great this morning. It's feeling a lot better, isn't it? Yesterday we had quite a hard lump right at the top. He was quite bloated at the top of his tummy there. That was a result of the fact that nothing could actually pass through. What we can feel today is that it's a lot softer and a lot doughier, which is great. It's how it's supposed to be. We might just have a quick listen to your gut sounds. This thing's moving. He's pooed, he's eaten, it's just getting better and better.
Poncho's owner Sophie is on her way in, anxious to see how her precious rabbit is going.
I think she's going to cry from happiness. She is going to be so happy to see Poncho alive this morning. I can hear those gut sounds from here. And your little nose twitch, you didn't have that yesterday. Whoa! Oh, hey, Soph! Look who's here!
Oh, Papa!
Hey!
Oh, how's he doing?
Oh my goodness, Soph. I can hear gut sounds from here, which is amazing.
little bug.
I walked in this morning and I was so worried about what I was going to find.
Yeah.
He looks like he's eaten. I left him with some stuff overnight and look at his face.
Oh.
His temperature's come up.
Yeah.
Heaps, so that is great news.
Oh.
I feel so relieved. I actually was really worried last night. It was a little bit grim, so I didn't know how he'd go overnight, but he's looking a lot better, more bright-eyed and yeah, eating and yeah, a lot more happier, so I'm really relieved.
Look at him. He looks so much more alert as well.
I thought he wasn't going to make it.
So did I.
So good being able to hold him and cuddle him, and I can't believe it. I actually can't believe that he made it through the night, so I'm really happy.
You like the banana?
Look at him.
I'd prefer you eat hay, but you can have a little bit of banana.
As long as he's eating something.
As long as he's eating something right now. Here you go, little mate. Look, strawberry.
Oh, sweet tooth.
Can't talk, eating.
Just can't believe it.
Poncho has survived a major health crisis in the last 24 hours. He's given us all such a scare. It's time for him to go home, where I know Sophie is going to give him a lot of TLC, and he totally deserves it.
He's a little fight, a little punch, but the staff here have been so good, and yeah, Dr. Kate, I can't thank them enough. It's been great. Thank you.
So yeah, call me if you need anything.
Thank you so much.
See you, little guy. Bye. See you guys.
Bye.
And this week's number one.
Oh, we've just come home and they've got a new rabbit, and I don't know. We think maybe
just found her in the garage.
The leg's sort of, almost off, like the back hind leg's so up. We don't know what's happening.
Alice is the much-loved first pet of Pia and Mimi.
Come through straight away.
Mum Nikki and her distraught daughters came home to find their bunny with horrific leg injuries.
You just got home, it was just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I just literally raced up as soon as I saw her. I just grabbed her, put her in the. It's all right, darling. I just put her in the. I just put her in the hutch. It's okay.
So no idea what could have caused it?
I have no idea. Absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she's tried to get herself through a really ridiculous space, and I don't know.
She's got a big skin tear on the side of her body there. Legs hanging really loose, which is a big concern. They can sometimes panic themselves and do things that make no sense, and if they get stuck in a particular place, they can push themselves or leap off and catch themselves on something. But I just don't know at this stage what she's done. My priority really has to be to stabilise her first, and then we'll go looking for injuries next. Right now we just need to make sure she's going to pull through this. Erin, can I have a hand?
Yeah, sure.
She's got a really fast heart rate, so she's quite shocky. This is some saline, which is just going to go straight underneath the skin there, and she'll absorb that really quickly. The goal of this is really to go into her bloodstream almost immediately and try to boost her blood pressure. If we can do that, it just keeps that blood circulating and really keeps her alive.
He's going to do absolutely everything he can, okay?
There are two little girls that really want you to come home, okay? So how about we work together as a team and make that happen, huh? This is just your worst nightmare. I mean, you're so concerned about Alice, but at the same time, those girls, this is their first ever pet, and this shouldn't be how it is.
To make Alice better, okay, sweetheart? Alright?
Okay, alright, so she's hanging in there. She's been a tough little girl. She's just resting in a cage at the moment, which is the best thing for her. The reason she's being so tough out there and being so brave is because she knows how much you love her, okay?
She's a gorgeous little thing. She's beautiful. We love her. So yeah, it's devastating. It's devastating.
As Nikki takes the girls home to wait for news, Chris begins x-raying Alice.
Go on, it's scary. This is where our worry is. That's the one with a big gash in it. This one here, it's intact. But here, on that leg that looks awful and is just hanging free, we've got a big fracture there. The big test really is if she doesn't feel any pain in her toes, it means the nerve's been severed as well, and that leg would have to come off. You're just going to go in here.
Alice needs to rest and recover from the shock. She must stabilise before Chris can treat her injuries.
Just relax there.
Later that afternoon, Nikki brings the girls back to the clinic with get well messages for their young bunny.
I love you, Alice, from your best friend Mimi.
It's very sweet. So we put that one there. It's beautiful. Hey, she's having a read now. Look.
Sadly, there's news that Chris doesn't want the little girls to hear.
That leg, I think, is probably going to have to come off.
Yeah.
If she does pull through, I'd probably operate on her tomorrow.
Oh, thank you, sweetie. Thank you, Pia. Thank you, Minnie.
Okay, we're going to work really hard to make everything okay. All right?
The next morning, things get a lot more serious at the clinic as Chris and Neil prepare Alice for her major surgery.
Yeah, see, mate, this one's really...
Yeah, not good.
Floppy there. She has no idea that I'm doing that.
No.
That leg, it just can't stay there. She's just going to drag it around, cause injuries to herself. So, I hate to say it, it does have to come off.
This isn't going to be an easy operation. You look at Alice and you can see that she's small. And because of that, everything is so delicate. She can't afford to lose much blood because she doesn't really have a lot to start with. Somehow she's already managed to cope with all this shock and all this trauma. I just hope she's got enough fight left in her to handle this surgery.
First thing you always have to do here is just work out where the big beating arteries are, because they're the ones that if you nick them, Alice is going to be in trouble really quickly.
Yeah, it's really tricky. They're just so sensitive, you just have to do tiny increments.
That's what that work's really been leading to, just trying to clear away the blood vessels and the muscles so we can get at this bone here. Now, it's not the nicest thing for Alice, but this bit is really essential. Sorry, Alice. That leg's now off. Wound's been nicely sewed up, so now we move on to the other leg.
But as Chris begins work on Alice's other leg, her heart suddenly stops.
Just stop for a second. I don't know if I've got a heartbeat though. No.
No?
For nearly 10 minutes, Chris and Neil desperately try to revive Alice. Finally, they get her back.
Yep, it's there.
So I'm just got a really faint heartbeat here, it's quite slow. I'm just trying to stimulate him with some atropine to try to quicken up his heart.
Just a few minutes later, the bunny slips away again.
No.
Stop?
No, stop.
Stop?
Stop.
With precious seconds ticking by, Chris is again trying everything he can to kickstart Alice's heart. For 15 minutes, he refuses to give up.
Come on, buddy. Come on, man. Surprise us all, mate.
She's young, she's fragile, she's already been through a lot, and it just suddenly was too much for her, and it's absolutely as gutting a feeling as you can get. You think about Peter and Mimi and probably guessed who this little guy's for. I'm just really hoping that this is just the best possible surprise for Pia and Mimi. I think they deserve it.
It's been 2 months since Pia and Mimi's pet rabbit passed away.
My biggest fear throughout all of this was that Pia and Mimi would really lose faith and be scared to ever connect with anything living again. Hey, your mum and I were talking, and we think that it's not right that you girls don't have a little bunny to love in your lives. I think they quite literally thought I'd pulled a rabbit out of my hat.
I think they're in total shock.
Then I just saw its ears and its eyes, and then I just recognised it, and I was like, whoa, that's a rabbit.
He's a little boy.
It's a boy, guys.
I just watched their faces go from this absolute look of surprise to all of a sudden their eyes soften and this little smile come over their face, and you knew it was meant to be. If you had to choose a name for a boy rabbit, what do you think?
Chris, because he helped us.
Really?
I had to choose that name because that was all I could think of.
Christopher Rabbit. That's pretty cute.
Nikki's a great mum, really taking time before they even considered getting another pet. I think he's spot on. You've got to be honest, but at the same time, you have to eventually let them love again, and she's done that.
If you guys loved that video, great. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel below. That way.